Hi, my name is Dr. Jenny Anaker. Welcome back to our videos. I'm the owner of Anaker Clinics of Chiropractic. In our videos, we're always giving you insight into chiropractic information, wellness tips, and also sharing with you a little bit about what I do for my own healthcare. So today's topic is about neck stretches. You know, as viewers and practice members, you're always asking for additional stretches, etc. We're certainly listening to what your needs are. So we hope this helps you out today. So for the neck, it's a couple of things to think about before we dive into the stretches. You know, why are people having increased neck pain and headaches, etc.? I think a big part of that is what's going on in our society. You know, we're spending a lot of times on our phones, on our computers, driving, that we really need to bring our body further back. It puts a lot of the weight of the head in a forward position, or it's called anterior head carriage, puts a ton of stress on the neck. I always explain to my patients, you know, thinking about if I had a bowling ball that weighed 10 pounds, which is on average the weight of the head, that if I put that bowling ball out in front of me, I could only hold that for a limited time before I felt like, oh my goodness, I'm going to drop this, you know, bowling ball or this 10-pound ball. Same thing for your neck. That's a lot of tension and stress that's placed on your neck because your head is in a forward position. So, you know, sometimes I'll ask the patients to get them involved, say, okay, what would be easier, to hold the bowling ball out in front of me or to hold it closer into me? Obviously, holding it closer into you, you could hold it for a longer period of time. Same thing for your head. Bringing your head back will just be light years ahead of most people that obviously, again, we spend a lot of time on technology, driving in the car, etc. So let's dive into the stretches. The stretches on average, you know, you can change this up if you want to do a little bit more or a little less as far as frequency. I say 2 to 3 times on each side, hold for 5 to 10 seconds. If you found a stretch where you're like, yes, this is the one I needed, and you want to hold it longer, by all means, you know, go ahead and hold it longer. So the first few stretches are really just bringing your neck through a set of ranges of motion and holding it. The first one is a forward movement called flexion. So just bringing your chin to your chest and then holding it and bringing it back up. And again, you can do this a couple of times, or maybe you hold for about 5 to 10 seconds. So when you go forward, now we're going to go back or into the movement that's called extension, where you're just bringing your head on back. And that feels really nice in these front muscles, and then coming back upright. And again, doing that a couple of times. The next neck motion is called rotation, or just moving your head so your nose is going towards your shoulder. I would do it on both sides, and again, hold it for a period of time. So we've had flexion or forward, extension back, rotation or ear to the nose. Now we're going to go ear to the shoulder, or what's called lateral bend. So bringing the ear down to the shoulder, I'd like to add to this one, a lot of times these side neck muscles get really tight. So just bringing your hand gently on top of your head and bring it in the opposite side direction, or in my case here, it'd be to my right ear. That'll open up that neck muscle even more. And if you felt like, oh my gosh, that feels good, but I could even take it a little further, you can lower your arm down a little bit as if you were holding maybe a dumbbell or something, and that'll give you even a deeper stretch. So that's the first one. The next one that also gets a lot of these side muscles that get tight again from that forward head posture, you're turning your head to look directly in front of your shoulder, and then coming at a nice angle, bringing your hand up on top of your head, and coming in a downward position. That's going to get the neck muscles here, but also it can come a little bit forward in the neck muscles, which is great. And if you feel like you can handle a little bit more of a stretch, just lowering that shoulder down can give you even a deeper stretch in that area as well. The next one, again, helps out for us to reposition our body. Again, as you're, you know, going on the computer throughout the day, you find your head coming more and more forward, and your chin is further forward, and your ear has gone a lot further forward. So just doing it, it's called a chin tuck. Just kind of, you know, having your hands on your chin and then just bringing your chin back and holding it. And again, doing this a couple of times, where you're bringing the chin back and holding it. These can all be great to do in the middle of the day when you just feel like, okay, I've been working on the computer, let's get after a couple of stretches. So the other part about that forward head posture, your shoulders a lot of times will come forward. So a nice way to open up the chest muscle or the pectoralis muscle is, I obviously don't have one here, but is to find a door, the sides of the door jamb, and then do a side step or a lunge with your legs, and you can go start further down, work your way on up, but just having your hands at what we call the door jamb and then just pressing forward, you're going to feel that up in the upper part of the shoulders, but that'll also help to open up the chest muscle that gets really tight as you're in that forward position. Also, again, in that forward position, going back to these neck muscles, or they're called the scalene muscles, you can use like the pad of your thumb, put it right on top of your collarbone here, and so I'm just going to move my necklace around. So I'm just right on top of the collarbone, and I'm just doing a gentle push downward, but not until I look the opposite shoulder, and then look up a little bit, and then again I'm doing that just gentle downward movement, and oh boy, does that feel good. So you can definitely feel it again in the anterior scalene muscles, and I would again do that on both sides. So I hope you found these stretches helpful. I would like to kind of wrap up or reiterate a couple of things. Watch that forward head posture. Take breaks throughout the day, every 15-20 minutes. Maybe just pick a couple of these stretches. Watch your when you're sitting at home on the couch. Certainly minimize where you're sitting down in this forward position. Maybe minimize television, or be mindful where your phone is positioned, bringing that further up. Also, just at night when you're sleeping, finding a great supportive pillow. My recommendations are always maybe a feather pillow is kind of my second best, and more of a contour or a foam pillow, though that's my first choice. But just making sure, again, that you have good support at your neck. So I hope you found this helpful. We would love your comments, suggestions, any insight or input that you have would be well received. Have a great day.